Hi, everybody. I'm Joe Kelley. That's Laura Lee. This is the Joe Kelley Show. Chat room, video chat. Laurel's about to do her newscast, at which point I'll clam up and mute my mic.
Good evening, 5 o'clock here at WDBO. You know what that means? It's time to get on the WDBO payroll payout right now. Tap that payroll payout button in the WDBO app and enter the word HEAT for your chance to win $1,000. Download the WDBO app, tap the payroll payout button, and enter the word HEAT, H-E-A-T, HEAT for your chance to get on the WDBO payroll payout right now. Our top story, a jury in New York has found former President Trump liable for battery and defamation in the E. Jean Carroll case. ABC's Aaron Katursky notes Trump did not appear in court.
E. Jean Carroll's attorneys called him out and said that Trump had every opportunity to come here and testify in his own defense, but he didn't do it. Didn't do it, the attorneys said, didn't come to court, didn't look you, the jury, in the eye and say, I didn't do it.
During a videotaped deposition, Trump maintained his claim that E. Jean Carroll was not his type, denying his allegations of rape in a department store in the 1990s. Some drivers in Central Florida may notice a slight change overnight.
Brightline is scheduled to begin tests from MCO to Cocoa Beach later tonight. The rail system is expected to hit speeds up to 125 miles per hour as it travels along State Road 528. Drivers shouldn't experience any traffic issues, but you may notice the train lights displayed along the route. The test should finish around 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Nicole Diaz, WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580.
Remember to open the WDBO payroll payout button right now in the WDBO app and enter the word HEAT. HEAT right now for your chance of $1,000 with the payroll payout. It's 5:02 here at WDBO. Hello, everyone.
Chris, Jude. Hey, Jude. Don't know the words to the song that I'm singing.
You'd think since you sing it every day, you'd learn the words.
You'd think
but I
I
guess
would.
not.
You would absolutely think I would learn the words. So what do you guys think? Do you think that Donald Trump's campaign is going to be affected by what happened in court today? Paul
It's a really
Cross.
satisfying pop sound when Paul comes on.
Pop, pop. It's the handsome Paul Cross. Cockroach, that is gross. Oh, that's a June bug, you dog. Oh, where is my bag?
Why did you remind him, Paul?
Where is my bag of June bugs? I can't believe you have a color printer that prints color pictures of a June bug. That's gross. Yuck. I'm with you, Chris. I feel like it'll have no effect. For some reason, no matter what Donald Trump does, people love him more. Hey, Jude.
My headphones all broke, so I'm using my backup pair, but they flake all over the place. So
Yeah.
there's like little flakies everywhere.
Oh my gosh, mine are totally doing that too. I'm on my third backup headphones now. My last two I didn't care for. Hello, Paul. So I'm going to have to go buy a new pair of headphones. And I said that to my wife, and she's like, you have to buy your own headphones?
Everybody said that to me too. That
I
same
know.
exact thing.
People are freaked out that we have to buy our own headphones and radio. But yes, we all have to buy one tool, and that tool is headphones. Quiet, here we go. Traffic.
Triple Team Traffic.
Got a crash on the 417 northbound at John Young Parkway. Another wreck on the 528 westbound at the Turnpike with a left lane closed. A crash I-4 eastbound right before Colonial, and a crash I-4 westbound at Central Florida Parkway. Having tech issues? No worries. Visit Refresh Computers, Central Florida's budget computer store. Visit Refresh Computers in Longwood or at refreshcomputers.net. From the WDBO Triple Team Traffic Center, I'm Paul Cross.
Local news, national news, even feel-good news. Delivering the topics that are relevant to you.
That's why I listen to Joe. He covers it all.
The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO.
Hey, once again, the word for your chance to win $1,000 in the WDBO payroll payout is HEAT. H-E-A-T. HEAT. So grab your cell phone, open up the WDBO app, tap the button that says payroll payout, and then write the word HEAT in there for your chance to win $1,000. And then, so coming up in 10 minutes, we'll close the window on those who can win. And then our computer will randomly draw one winner and call that winner. So if you have input the word HEAT into the WDBO app for the payroll payout, and then suddenly, like in the next 30 minutes or so, your phone rings, don't be that guy or girl. Don't be the person that doesn't answer your phone. Don't be me, okay? Because I would be the one who never answers my phone. But in this case, if you enter the word HEAT, answer your phone if it rings in the next 30 minutes, 45 minutes or so, because you could be a big winner. Well, we had obviously a very big news day today. While you're at work, we did get a verdict out of New York City. The jury very quickly reaching the conclusion today that Donald Trump sexually abused then journalist E. Jean Carroll, pummeling him with a $5 million punishment for forcing himself on her and defaming her for years. It ended a 2-week civil trial in federal court. A 9-panel jury of New Yorkers concluded that the real estate mogul did, in fact, violently attack magazine journalist E. Jean Carroll in 1996, pinning her against a wall while she stood inside the fitting room at a high-end Manhattan clothing store, Bergdorf Goodman. But they also could not reach a liable conclusion that what he did would be classified as rape. So it is not a rape. That was the one charge he was found not liable on, was the rape charge. But he was found liable on all the other charges. So they determined that whatever he did in the dressing room was non-consensual sexual abuse. Made worse by the way he caused damage to Carroll's reputation when he resorted to remarks and denying the attack ever happened. They spared him the worst punishment of branding him as a rapist. So he avoids the rape charge, the rape penalty, but is found liable on all the rest of the charges. Now, the jury awarded Carroll $2 million in damages for being battered by Trump, with an additional $20,000 punishment to Trump for disregarding her rights. They awarded her an additional $1 million for the damage he caused to her reputation by calling her a liar, plus another $1.7 million meant to pay for the cost of repairing her reputation. They slapped Trump with a separate $280,000 punishment for the malice and hatred in his denials. How the hell do you measure hatred in a denial like that? So really, what is the $1 million question here is, will you still vote for Donald Trump? If Trump was your guy before this conviction, before this finding, is Trump still your guy? Has your mind changed at all about Donald Trump and about whether or not he's your guy? Do you still support Donald Trump? Do you chalk this up as, not that big of a deal? Or is this a big deal and it's going to affect how you vote come November? You can let us know right now at 844-580-WDBO, 844-580-9326. You can use the open mic in the WDBO app. We do have quite a bit of reaction so far this afternoon.
Well, I think that was a ridiculous amount to be awarded, but at the same time, now I'm wondering, with that big amount hanging out there, how many other women are going to come forward and say, oh, I was assaulted too, you know? I mean, I don't agree with women being assaulted, but, you know, if it's legit, and who knows if it's legit or not, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd also like to go on record. I'd just like to. I'm gonna make an official stand here. I'm gonna go out. I'll go on record as saying I also do not agree with assaulting women. I just want to put that out there, that I think assaulting women is a terrible thing. So yes, I wholeheartedly agree with that for sure.
Chances for a Republican to win on a trial in New York City, it's next to zero. So all I can say is my vote goes for Donald Trump, even more so. Go Trump, 2024, our next president.
So what does that mean even more so? That you now like him even better as a presidential candidate now that he has been found liable of sexual assault? Why would that make you want to vote more for him? Now, if you just simply discount it and say, oh, I just don't believe it. I just refuse to believe it. I mean, a unanimous jury, and granted, it was a unanimous jury in New York City, but that is where crime was said to have happened. But it was a unanimous jury in New York City. Does that not carry any weight at all with you when it comes to whether or not you still support him for president? 844-580-WDBO. Jim is joining us in Orlando. Hey, Jim, you're on the Joe Kelley Show on WDBO. Thanks for calling.
Well, thank you for listening. Quick answer to your question. You asked if we would still vote for Trump, and my answer is yes. And it's because I don't know whether Trump is guilty or innocent. I don't know. I do know that he's been unfairly treated by every basic institution, mostly for political reasons. And my vote for Trump will be more in trying to do my little part in balancing the scales of justice in this country and the totally unbalanced, biased environment that we live in towards conservatives.
Now, and Jim, I got to tell you, I agree with you. I agree with you that Trump has been unfairly treated and unfairly maligned in the media. He's been unfairly treated in the Congress with those, with both of the impeachment proceedings. But I still struggle with Trump being a good guy, being just, you know, a nice guy, a respectable guy. I mean, even if you go back to the famous video of Trump saying that, you know, when you're famous, you can grab a woman, you know, wherever. I mean, that doesn't sit well with me, even though I believe Trump is being unfairly targeted. Trump is sometimes his own worst enemy.
Oh, amen to that. I would agree with you wholeheartedly on that point. You know, there's an old saying. I've been around enough elections to see a lot of things, and there's an old saying that says "good guys finish last." So Trump has demonstrated his ability to take issues to these people and to demonstrate how things should be done in this country. And he's been one of the first ones to do this in a very long time. I've witnessed the Romneys, the Doles, even the Bushes, for that matter, who have kowtowed to every woke and liberal or progressive theme of the day. And I'm sick and tired of it. And if Trump is the only guy on the horizon or on the scope that can take it back to these people and turn the tables around, then so be it. I mean, if a better guy comes around, fine. I mean, I really do love Ron DeSantis, but yeah. I wonder if he's got I don't know if I can say this on the air, but the kahunas to face up to these people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Say that. You can say that. Yeah, you're good. You're good. All right, Jim. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate your phone call. Thank you for listening. And officially, where I stand on this is, and you know, there are a lot of people who who try to make everything black and white. Oh, well, you're either for Trump or you're against Trump. I'm sorry, but I have a slightly more complex mind than that. I have already voted for Donald Trump twice in presidential elections. He was not my first choice during the Florida primary. I was a Marco Rubio guy. But when Donald Trump won the primary, I voted for Donald Trump. When Donald Trump was running against Biden, I voted for Donald Trump. And if Donald Trump ends up being the Republican Party nominee and faces Joe Biden in the general election, I am certain that I will, for a third time, vote for Donald Trump. But that would not be my favorite option. I would rather see someone younger. I would rather see someone that doesn't have the baggage. I would rather have someone that doesn't self-destruct, that doesn't get in their own way as Donald Trump so often does. Mark is joining us in Winter Haven. You're on the Joe Kelley Show and WDBO. Hi, Mark.
Hey, Joe. How are you?
Very good.
The first thing I got to say is no, I do not agree with any woman being assaulted. But do I honestly think Donald Trump did? Not in any way, shape, or form.
So I'm curious. I'm curious how you come to that conclusion. Do you just believe that Donald Trump is of such high moral character that he would never do anything like that?
I'm not stating that, but look at his wives. Look at where he hangs out. You think he's going to try that in a woman's dressing room? First of all, let me quote this. Somebody with that kind of money is not going shopping to begin with. He sends them out to go do the shopping.
Yeah, I don't know.
Going to be caught.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if he was there shopping or not, but I do understand what you're saying, and I think he made the same argument at one point Donald Trump did, and that is why would I do that in a changing room at a department store in New York? He has made similar comments to that. Let's go to Mac, who's joining us not Mac. Let's go to Ree, who's in Orlando. Hi, Ree. Is it Ree or it's Rhea? Ree?
It's Rhea.
Rhea,
it's
got
Rhea.
it. Hi, Rhea.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Wonderful, thanks.
Good. I'm calling about Trump. I agree with the caller, the previous to the one you're just speaking with. First of all, I don't think Trump is necessarily a good guy. I think he's a shrewd businessman who takes no prisoners, basically. However, with that being said, I also believe that the state of New York, every single person, every entity, judicial system, et cetera, has it in for him. And they will find anything they can to try to prove him guilty of something. I am a female. I definitely don't believe in women being assaulted in any way, shape, or form. But to me, that this is coming out now, and they've waited for how long? Almost 27 years, and they're saying this now. I don't get it, and I certainly don't buy it. I think all this stuff can be manufactured. Maybe in another state, maybe if they came to this conclusion that he was guilty, I might believe it.
But because it's New York, it's just too hard to believe. It's too much of the big system there. You've got prosecutors who ran for office swearing that they would, prosecute Donald Trump. I mean, people have bet their entire political careers on trying to take down Donald Trump.
Yes, of course. And, also the fact that we've waited, the woman has waited 27 years to say something.
It pains me.
I find that incredible.
It pains me, by the way, to think that 1996 was however many 26 years ago or whatever. That doesn't.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but so be it. I'll take your word for it on the math on that one. Rhea, thank you so much for checking in. We appreciate that. Let's go to Mac, listening in Hawaii. It says, "Hello, Mac. How are you?"
Hey, how you doing, Joe?
Great, sir.
Nice talking to you.
Thank you.
Listen, I think they should stop this witch hunt towards Trump. I mean, they should actually focus a little more on what is going on with our country. Having someone, I don't even like to mention his name because that's real ridiculous what he's doing to this country. And not only that.
Just to make sure I understand, you're talking about Joe Biden, right?
Of course.
Okay, I just want to make
Of
sure.
course.
All right.
Yeah, he's getting away. He's getting away with murder here.
Well, and I will agree with you, Mac, that is one of those ironic things is that Donald Trump is the one who keeps getting charged with crimes, and Joe Biden is the one who keeps not getting charged with crimes. Whereas the Biden crime family seems to be pretty well established, with plenty of facts available for the FBI, for the Department of Justice, and for so many others to be able to prosecute the Biden family.
This guy is been doing that for more than 40 years.
Yeah.
When he started going on the Senate, then he became a vice president. How could a vice president say to someone, listen, if you don't fire this guy, I am not going to send you the money. You got that on tape.
That's right. And the complicit media, the network media, the White House press pool, they don't care about stuff like that. It doesn't rank with them. It's breathtaking what they don't report. Bias is not just about reporting things wrong. It's also about what you don't report. And the network media just doesn't report anything like that. And it's troubling. It's regrettable. And it's very unfortunate. 844-580-WDBO. It's 844-580-9326. You can use the open mic in the WDBO app. Coming up in a moment, though, Donald Trump confuses his wife for E. Jean Carroll. We've got the audio. It's coming up straight ahead.
Now, WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Triple Team Traffic.
Well, we're going to start off in Osceola County, where we have a crash 192 westbound after Four Winds Boulevard. Looking at 2 lanes right now. Left lanes are closed. Seminole County got a bad wreck on 436 eastbound at Lamplight Way with 2 left lanes blocked. And a crash on I-4 eastbound before Colonial. Looks like that one now is on the right shoulder. This report sponsored by Fresh from Florida. Shoppers, this is your local sweet corn farmer letting you know that Florida sweet corn is in season. Learn more at followfreshfromflorida.com. From the Florida Department of Agriculture. And from the WDBO Triple Team Traffic Center, I'm Paul Cross.
The University of Idaho has announced that the 4 students who were killed in a stabbing earlier this year will receive posthumous degrees. Commencement ceremonies begin May 13th and last through May 17th. The 4 students were killed in a house off campus on November 13th. President Biden, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, and other congressional leaders are meeting on the debt ceiling. Earlier today, the White House warned of the economic impact if the U.S. defaults on its debt. Republicans insist Biden must start curbing spending, with the debt climbing every day. One. Donald Trump says the verdict in his civil case is a disgrace. In a post on Truth Social, Trump said he has no idea who Carroll is and called the case the continuation of the greatest witch hunt of all time. In an earlier post before the verdict, Trump said he would appeal the case, arguing he was not allowed to speak or defend himself. Hi, Jude. Hi, Paul. Hi, James. Hi, Chris.
Laurel, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Paul. Yeah.
Okay, once in a while I have to duck out, so I will turn off my camera, but I'm still going to be around, so I'll be back on when I can.
Okay.
Just letting you know.
Cool. Thank you. The light makes you look tired today or something.
Okay.
That's another reason I don't want one of those lights. Joe keeps asking me to get in more light. I'm like, no. I don't want you guys seeing how tired I look. Yeah, Joe starts speaking, Jude, at like 3, a little after 3, but he is here earlier than that. He works all day. So you're right. He probably is tired. But he was awake apparently last night running around Orlando because he posted that video of the Lamborghini. I don't know. I think it was Lamborghini crossing the radio tracks. So I don't know how late he was out partying. I don't think he was partying. I don't know what he was doing. I just put a story up about Borgs. Do you guys know what Borgs are? Oh, hold on. Here comes Joe. He fakes me out like that all the time. Anyways, not Borgs.
I look tired. Joe looks tired.
I'm always tired, Chris. That's true. I'm notoriously always tired.
Maybe I need better light. Hang on. A better light.
That's the littlest light I've ever seen.
It's my favorite little light.
Whoa. Now you're very bright.
Is that better?
Actually, yes, I think it is.
Okay. Lighting is important.
I said radio tracks. Oh my gosh, I meant train tracks. Oh, I am tired, Chris. I better go get more caffeine. I was telling them about was it a Lamborghini on the radio?
Yeah.
On the radio tracks. See, now it's
On
in
the
my
train
head.
tracks last night. Yeah. Yeah, it was a yellow Lamborghini. I was out walking Arwen, my stepdog, last night. And this nice Lamborghini was coming across the tracks.
I was telling him I just put up a story about the Borgs, and not the Star Trek Borgs, but the big
drinking Borgs. Yeah. So it's a gallon and it has, is it vodka?
Energy drink and like water.
Yeah, that's not. And you're supposed to drink the whole gallon, the Borg.
Yeah. And
the Borg is an
don't feel
acronym
hungover
for
the next
something.
day.
It's bottle of.
It's blackout rage gallon.
I knew it was something like that.
And doctors are like, yeah, that might look fun, but you could also be dead. So maybe don't do it.
I missed a lot of fun things in my teenage years. We were just setting stuff on fire.
I've got good news for you. You could still do a Borg now if you wanted.
My name is Joe Kelley. This is the Joe Kelley Show. You can call 844-580-WDBO if you want to be able to check out the chat room, the video stream. We basically have a TV show that is on our Facebook page. If you want to join the conversation, join the chat room. We talk about all kinds of weird things in the chat room. Yesterday, we were talking about, well, a word that I wouldn't use on the radio, so we won't go back and revisit that. All right. So this is really interesting. This was during the deposition. And Donald Trump, this is just a 1-minute audio clip, but during his deposition, Donald Trump quite clearly, because Donald Trump had said about E. Jean Carroll that she's not my type, right? She's not my type. And you know, that led to part of the discussion about whether or not Donald Trump raped or sexually assaulted her. Trump's argument was she's not my type. I wouldn't be attracted to her. But Trump confused a picture of E. Jean Carroll with his wife, Marla Maples. His wife at the time, Marla Maples. This is from the deposition.
You have in front of you a black and white photograph that we've marked as DJT23. And I'm going to ask you, is this the photo that you were just referring to?
I think so, yes.
And do you recall when you first saw this photo?
At some point during the process, I saw it. That's, I guess, her husband, John Johnson, who was an anchor for ABC. Nice guy, I thought. I mean, I don't know him, but I thought he was pretty good at what he did. I don't even know who the woman. Let's see. I don't know who. It's Marla.
You're saying Marla's in this photo?
So he says that's Marla, pointing at the picture, and the other attorney obviously is excited to hear Donald Trump say that, asking, you see Marla in this picture?
That's Marla. Yeah, that's my wife.
Which woman are you pointing to? No.
Here.
Carroll.
Oh,
The person you just pointed to was
I
E.
see.
Jean Carroll.
Who is that? Who is this?
And the woman on the right is your then wife.
I don't know.
Ivana?
This was the picture. I assume that's John Johnson. Is that Carroll? Because it's very blurry.
So the two women in the picture were Ivana Trump, his first wife, and Marla Maples, his second wife. And he thought Marla Maples was E. Jean Carroll, and he failed to recognize his first wife, Ivana Trump. That's weird. But to say that he has a type is definitely true. Because E. Jean Carroll, honestly, I looked at the picture and I thought myself that was Marla Maples. She looks like Marla Maples when she was younger. More of your calls and comments coming up straight ahead. Stay with us here at 844-580-WDBO.
Good evening, 5:30 here at WDBO. Make sure that WDBO app is downloaded, ready to go, so you don't miss your next chance at winning $1,000 with the WDBO payroll payout coming up tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. You could get paid just for listening to WDBO. Our top story, a jury in New York has found former President Trump liable for battery and defamation in the E. Jean Carroll case. ABC's Aaron Katursky notes Trump did not appear in court.
Joe Capina, the defense attorney, said, why would Trump come here? He said that the entire story was completely made up, an unbelievable work of fiction ripped from an episode of Law and Order SVU back in 2012 when a woman is seen being raped at the very same department store.
During a videotaped deposition, Trump maintained his claim that E. Jean Carroll was not his type, denying her allegations of rape in a department store in the 1990s. Well, there is more affordable housing coming to Orange County.
Officials celebrated the opening of the new complex earlier today in Orlando after more than 2 years of construction. The Fairlawn Village has more than 100 units. Local leaders say the project is a part of city's larger plan to address housing in the Pine Hills neighborhood. Nicole Diaz, WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580.
Make sure that WDBO app is downloaded, ready to go, so you don't miss your chance at winning the payroll payout of $1,000 coming up tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. It's 5:32 here at WDBO. Jude, we get here. Joe and I get here around 11:30 noon, and I am on the air from noon until the end of the show. Well, actually, then all night. So I'm multiple hours. You can hear my voice. Joe is here around noon, and he works on like web stories and podcasts, and then he gets on the air itself at like 3:20 is his first on air thingy. So, and then of course we have Nicole and Sophie and Leo and all of our other reporters, Casey and Marsha in the mornings. Ooh, a new Epcot restaurant. She hasn't filled it in yet, though. I love Disney news. New Epcot restaurant. Oh, yeah, that makes sense then, Jude. That makes sense. Well, I don't know if talking about Trump is any better than the weird circumcision topic we had yesterday. It probably is, but who knows? This could go a weird way as well. These shows have a tendency to do that, get weird. Joe bought those bugs for us to eat. Remember we were talking about eating bugs like last week? And if you were here yesterday, you know that he bought the bag of bugs, but he hasn't brought them out today. So my bet would go that he was going to forget about the bugs. And then in a month, he's going to find them in like a bag. And he'd be like, oh, remember when I bought these bugs? We never ate them. Oh, yeah. So sad. We never ate the bugs. I'm not eating them. I'm not. And you can't make me. Thanks for everybody that started following my Laurel Lee page. I see a bunch of you started doing that. Thank you for that. If you do want to follow my Facebook page, what is this? Oh, facebook.com/The The Laurel Lee. The as in like Thee. It's fancy, see? It's like Shakespeare. The Laurel Lee. Theelaurelee. I had it as the Laurel Lee for a long time, hoping people would pronounce it the Laurel Lee, and then nobody did. So I changed the spelling. Bugs Friday. Is that what he said, Chris? No. Shh, don't remind him. Don't remind him. We need to get rid of that comment. How do I delete that comment? It's not happening. Maybe Josh will do it with us. Not us. Him. Him alone. Not us. Don't count me in on that. Not happening. Nope. Because honestly, I'm serious when I say the June bugs freak me out the most. I'm usually okay with bugs, like ladybugs, millipedes, whatever. June bugs, no way, Jose. Oh, shh, don't talk about it.
You know what really surprises me is most of the open mics and calls that are supporting Donald Trump are women. And I find that interesting. I mean, we're talking about a potential rape case here. And don't women support other women? Is that not a thing? Women don't have other women's backs?
Yeah, I think everybody's torn though, because we want to support the people who are actually victimized, but there are so many fakers nowadays that it's so tough.
Yeah.
Jude, you're already following me. I see it said Jude followed you. So you actually are already following my page. Thank you for that.
Now, WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Triple Team Traffic.
Couple of things going on in Osceola County right now. We got a serious crash on OBT northbound at Yeehaw Junction. All lanes are blocked on the northbound side of OBT. And then we got a crash on 192 westbound after Four Winds Boulevard. 2 left lanes are closed there. Go to Seminole County with a wreck on 436 eastbound at Lamplight Way. 2 left lanes are closed there. This report sponsored by Summit Racing. Summit Racing keeps your road trip ready with millions of in-stock parts from all the best brands. Summer travel starts at summitracing.com. Everything you need for anything you drive. From the WDBO Triple Team Traffic Center, I'm Paul.
News, weather, traffic, all the things you want on your drive home. Plus, Joe Kelley being, well, Joe Kelley. Now, the Joe Kelley Show on Orlando's News and Talk, WDBO.
I know that all my friends and everybody that I work with knows what it means to be Joe Kelley. I don't know if our listeners fully understand that. Even my mom would say that when I was a kid. They're like, oh, he's just being Joe Kelley. Yeah, I do things sometimes, and it can just be chalked up by saying, oh, he's just being himself, which is good because that's the only thing I'm really good at is just being myself. Now, here's an interesting phenomenon that I'm noticing here tonight. So we're talking about a woman who claims that she was raped, that a jury finds that she was at the very least sexually assaulted. And what I am finding here tonight, both on the phone calls and in the open mics, is the majority of people who are defending Donald Trump are women. And I thought women had like other women's backs. I thought women, supported other women when they say that they were sexually assaulted or raped or something along those lines.
Good afternoon, Joe. This is Debbie in Central Florida. Only 2 people know what did or did not happen in that fitting room. I want to know if there's a statute of limitations on something like this. If she really has a valid claim, why did she not make it sooner? I find it hard to believe that someone as easily recognizable as Donald Trump would have put himself in that position. I do believe. And there are evil forces that are probably paying her even more to go there. So I don't want to date the guy, but I would vote for him.
I don't want to date the guy, but I would vote for him.
So what if Donald Trump didn't recognize Marla Maples in a photo or confused her with another lady? I'll bet if you showed Joe Biden a picture of his granddaughter, he might not recognize her, not acknowledge her? I'm not sure. How do you answer that?
Yeah, I am certain that Joe Biden would not recognize that one granddaughter from that Hunter Biden relationship. And finally, another woman here for Trump.
I think Donald Trump is the best president this country's ever had. He's proven it already. I think he can do it again. And all of us have done things in our past that we regret. It could be something shameful, embarrassing, sinful, or criminal. And many times the perceived victim doesn't even pop up until there's a little notoriety to gain or maybe some money. So all of that aside, Donald Trump for president of the United States in 2024.
All right, no lack of support there. By the way, a lot of people have asked, why did she wait 26 years? Why did she wait all this time? Well, the answer to that, it may not fly with you, but the answer is that she, during the 2018, what was the movement called? Wow, how did I just forget what the name of that movement was called?
Me Too.
Me Too, thank you. The Me Too movement. During the Me Too movement, she spoke up. She said that she had been raped by Donald Trump. She didn't file a lawsuit. Nothing happened. She just said, I was raped by Donald Trump. Well, then Donald Trump started attacking her verbally and besmirching her character and going after her. And that is what led to her filing the lawsuit. So again, I mentioned how sometimes Donald Trump gets in his own way. Perhaps if Donald Trump had simply denied it or just kept his mouth shut and not said anything, instead of saying she's not my type or she's ugly or whatever, if Donald Trump had done nothing, perhaps it would have not led to a lawsuit of some sort, and it could have just been swept under the rug with all the other claims that come out when people are famous. 844-580-WDBO. It's 844-580-9326. You can use the open mic and the WDBO app. Triple Team Traffic now as we check that drive here on a gorgeous yet really warm Tuesday afternoon with temperatures in the high 80s. Here's Paul Cross.
Yeah, it's been really busy too, Joe. A couple of things that we're going to talk about right now in Osceola County. We got a crash on OBT northbound at Yeehaw Junction with all lanes closed on OBT. And then another one on 192 westbound after Four Winds Boulevard. 2 left lanes are shut down there. Seminole County also has a wreck on 436 eastbound at Lamplight Way. This report sponsored by Summit Racing. Summit Racing keeps your ride road trip ready with millions of in-stock parts from all the best brands. Summer travel starts at summitracing.com. Everything you need for anything you drive. From the WDBO Triple Team Traffic Center, I'm Paul Cross.
All right, let's go to the phones here, 844-580-WDBO. We'll go to Scott in Daytona Beach. You're on WDBO. Hi, Scott. Scott, you with me? Is he potted up in there? Scott? All right, we'll skip Scott. Let's go to Claire in Kissimmee. Hi, Claire.
Hi. I'm doing good.
I'm glad to hear that. Your phone line is not, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm in the car.
That's okay.
I would vote for Trump. I don't believe that. I think it's all made up charges, and it's a long time waiting, and I think it's just about the money.
So she was.
But I think Donald Trump.
She was biding her time to get in on some of that money.
I think so. It's about the money, and I would vote for Trump.
And that is for a woman to claim rape, for a woman to claim sexual assault. I mean, that is a huge, huge claim to make, particularly against a famous person, particularly against a wealthy, famous person. And if you're going to do something like that, you are opening yourself up to ridicule. You're opening yourself up to criticism. You're opening yourself up to, frankly, death threats and all kinds of craziness. And yet she, at least from her perspective, stood by her convictions and stood by her story, even if a lot of people aren't believing her story. Scott in Daytona, you're on WDBO. Hi, Scott.
Hi, Joe. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good. So I know there's a lot of talk about Trump not being a nice guy and all that. that really shouldn't lend to somebody being found liable of some or guilty if it was a criminal case. But I just want to point out, McCain was a nice guy. Romney was a nice guy. They didn't win.
Right, but I don't think the jury was deciding whether or not Donald Trump is a nice guy. I think it's a separate issue. And you're right. I mean, Mitt Romney treated Barack Obama with kid gloves when he should have gone after him and should have outed Barack Obama for the candidate he really was. But he failed to do so.
Yeah, I think there was more politics to play here, being that there was a jury from New York, and I'm with the people that there's no way Donald Trump could have got a fair trial. I think that's why he didn't testify. It just didn't matter.
Right, but you do understand now that Trump is claiming that it was rigged, that he wasn't given a chance to defend himself, even though
I heard him say that.
Even though the judge gave him 3 extra days to decide whether or not he wanted to defend himself, and he chose not to. So Trump's being dishonest when he says he didn't have the ability to defend himself at this trial.
I agree with you that the judge gave him ample time. I think Trump saying he didn't have a chance to defend himself at this trial is that it doesn't matter. If he showed up and testified, they would have still found it the same way. If he'd have showed up or not showed up and testified, what I believe he was saying is he didn't have a chance in New York.
Well, it's not like New York was chosen at random. I mean, New York was chosen because that's where the crime happened, and if the crime happened in Kansas City, the trial would have been in Kansas City. But the alleged crime happened in New York City, and that's why the trial was in New York City. We'll get more of your calls and comments coming up straight ahead. We do have a line open for you at 844-580-WDBO. It's 844-580-9326. You can use the open mic in the WDBO app. Open mics, a lot of those coming in.
I can tell you something don't smell right about that Trump conviction. 20 plus years, all hearsay, and a unanimous decision. That's not adding up.
Well, it had to be a unanimous decision for a conviction. If even one person held out, then there would not have been a finding of liability for Donald Trump there.
I don't think so. The media won't let it go. So it's going to be a more than one day story. I wish they would just let it go. 27 years ago? Where did they dig this broad up? Sorry, don't believe it.
Yeah, I don't think they like being called broads anymore. I don't know that they ever liked being called broads for what it's worth.
I think that Donald should back down. I don't think he will, but I think he should. We need a candidate in there that can win. I know he's done great things for us in the economy, but if we lose, we're in big trouble, folks. Big trouble, as everybody knows. So we need a candidate, get DeSantis or somebody in there that really has a shot. I think anybody we put in there will beat Biden.
I will tell you, that is the only open mic and the only phone call that we have received that says that Trump should step aside. That is the only one. If you think I'm only playing pro-Trump open mics out of a bias of some sort, it's not. That's all we have is pro-Trump open mics, except for that one guy who says that Trump should step aside.
Well, I've officially lost faith in the entire country, the United States. Never want to be a politician. They'll completely destroy you. They'll destroy your family. And who's this lady that Donald Trump's tied in with, or whatever the hell's going on? The guy's 75, 76 years old. Come on, man.
Yeah, I don't. The come on, man argument. That's Joe Biden's argument. Come on, man. I don't know what argument that makes. I don't know what point rather that makes. Let's go to Joe in Orlando. You're on WDBO at 844-580-WDBO. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thanks for calling.
I want to say that I agree with you. I don't think Trump should run. He's got too much baggage. I think we got a governor down here that can handily wipe out any Democrat that steps up to the podium. I really do.
And that is my only qualification. That's the only thing I want out of a GOP presidential nominee, and that is I want someone who can beat Joe Biden. And if it's Donald Trump, so be it. But someone has got to beat Joe Biden.
I agree, but trying New York is like selling snow to an Eskimo. It's just like crazy.
Yeah, but like I said, New York is where the crime took place, so that's where the trial takes place as well. We're going to get more of your calls and comments coming up straight ahead. Stay with us. 844-580-WDBO. Use the open mic and the WDBO app. Will his being found liable today and owing some $5 million to E. Jean Carroll, does that change whether or not you're going to vote for him coming up in the fall? You can hit us up right now at 844-580-WDBO. I'm Joe Kelley. You're listening to WDBO.
Now, WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Triple Team Traffic.
Got a broken down vehicle, 417 northbound, right before Colonial, and I've just seen that they pushed it over to the right shoulder. A couple of things in Osceola County still, and that's on OBT northbound at Yeehaw Junction. All lanes are blocked. And 192 westbound after Four Winds Boulevard, an injury crash has 2 left lanes closed. This report sponsored by Fresh from Florida. Shoppers, this is your local sweet corn farmer letting you know that Florida sweet corn is in season. Learn more at followfreshfromflorida.com. From the Florida Department of Agriculture. And from the WDBO Triple Team Traffic Center, I'm Paul Cross.
Congratulations to James for winning the WDBO payroll payout of $1,000.
Awesome. Wow.
Download that WDBO app now so you don't miss your next chance at getting on the payroll payout coming up tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. The Senate will see the return of California Senator Dianne Feinstein this week. NBC News reports the Democrat will return to Capitol Hill tomorrow after being absent for nearly 3 months due to health problems. Some Congress members and her own party called for her resignation because her absence complicated Democrats' efforts to confirm some of President Biden's judicial nominees. One. Asylum seekers are living on the streets in the Texas border city of El Paso, waiting for Title 42 to expire. The COVID era rule was used to expedite deportations, and border cities anticipate thousands flooding legal and illegal border crossings. The White House has sent 1,500 troops to the border to help with the surge. So, Chris, the way the payroll payout works is that, well, to execute, like on your side, you download the WDBO app, you open the app, and in the app, there's a payroll payout button. There's a button that says payroll payout. Tap that, and then you're going to enter the keyword that's given at 10, noon, 2, and 5 every day. On our side, it's everybody that enters is put into a random generator, and a computer grabs a random winner, and that person then receives a phone call. So if you do play and then you get a phone call in the next 30 minutes, make sure you answer it, even if it's from who knows where. I don't know. My number comes up as Pittsburgh, so it won't be me calling you, but if a random number comes out, answer it, because that could be them because they'll call you and be like, "Hi, did you just put in a payroll payout number?"
So,
and then you say yes, and then you win. So what?
I could tell Laurel was talking because out of the corner of my eye, I could see hands moving. So I'm like, oh, Laurel must be entertaining right now. There's hands going about everywhere. Woo, woo, woo.
And I'll talk. A lot of hands.
Yes. Sure, these 1,500 people are not. Protect, they're going there to do paperwork.
He's talking about the border surge, the 1,500 troops they're sending. They're saying they're just there to do administrative
which
work.
is right. That's true. Yeah, they're not there to actually stop people. That's true. So is it not a thing that some women are embarrassed about rape and they don't want to talk about it and they have to be convinced to come out and talk about being raped? I mean, is that not a thing?
Particularly if it's a he said, she said
Right,
thing,
you got
right?
no
I mean, if
evidence,
there's no
right.
evidence. I mean, why take it to court if you just like, he did it and like, did you go to the hospital? No.
Yeah.
Why? Well, it must have not happened. You didn't go to the hospital. You didn't tell anybody,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Because I was in pain, because I was embarrassed, because they say some people don't even realize, like, because it's so traumatic, like you could have put yourself in the situation, but then said no later. But then girls think, oh, well, I put myself in that situation. Maybe it was, it takes a minute for them to be like, hold on, I told him no. Hold on, I told him stop.
And people have asked, like, why didn't she scream in the dressing room and stuff like that? I remember, I don't know if this is a good comparison, and maybe I should say this on the air. But I remember the very first time I ever went bungee jumping, I was wired up for audio because I was on the radio when I did it, because of course. And I remember like my program director was like, okay, Joe, make sure when you jump off this cliff that you talk through it. Do you want to know what sound I made while I was falling down on my first? Do you want to know what sound I made?
Was it a squeak? Was it
It was no sound whatsoever. I couldn't get noise to come out of my mouth. I was like, just falling without me. I couldn't make a sound. It was the most unimpressive radio. Didn't win any awards for that at all because I was silent the whole time, but you could hear the wind going through the microphone. I don't know if that's a fair comparison.
Well, I think it has its merits because like it was so traumatizing.
I couldn't scream.
I couldn't shock to your system.
I couldn't get a word out.
Right. And sometimes it's just like, what is happening? What can I do? Does he have a weapon? What will, will he sock me and knock me unconscious if I make a sound?
Right.
What?
WDBO payroll payout of $1,000 happens tomorrow at 8 a.m. during Orlando's morning news. Just listen for the keyword and then tap the payroll payout button in the WDBO app.
$1,000. $1,000.
Get paid just for listening to WDBO.
This is awesome.
So I'm really intrigued by the concept of unearned confidence. And we've had a lot of calls and open mics saying, I know that Donald Trump didn't do it. Donald Trump, there's no way that Donald Trump did that. That's unearned confidence. Where do you get that confidence? How are you so confident that Donald Trump didn't do that? And I don't take the opposite tact. I don't say, of course, Donald Trump did it. I say, I wasn't in the jury. I didn't hear the evidence. I mean, this was not a televised trial. We didn't have the opportunity to see what was happening behind closed doors in that trial. I just don't quite understand people's confidence that Donald Trump is so thoroughly innocent. And I was making a point in the chat room just a minute ago on the WDBO Facebook page, and I don't know if this is a good comparison or not, but somebody had asked earlier, if she was being raped in this dressing room, why didn't she scream? Why didn't she draw attention to the crime that was taking place? And I remember when I was 20 years old, back when bungee jumping was just getting started, and I did a bungee jump live on the radio. And I remember our brand manager was saying, all right, Joe, make sure you're being descriptive as you fall off of this cliff. And I got to tell you, I could not manage to get a single sound to come out of my mouth as I was falling 150 feet or whatever it was on this bungee thing. I couldn't manage to make a sound. I was so terrified that not a sound came out of my mouth. And I don't know if that would be the same for a woman getting raped. I can't possibly relate to something like that. We will get more of your calls and comments, more of this discussion coming up. Stay right there.
Now, WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Triple Team Traffic.
Still looking at this stalled vehicle, 417 northbound right before Colonial, but it's on the right shoulder. And then a crash, 192 westbound after Four Winds Boulevard. 2 left lanes are closed there. And big delays on I-4 westbound from Parr onto the 408 ramps. Having tech issues? No worries. Visit Refresh Computers, Central Florida's budget computer store. Visit Refresh Computers in Longwood or at refreshcomputers.net. From the WDBO Triple Team Traffic Network, I'm Paul Cross.
Good evening, 6 o'clock here at WDBO. Make sure that WDBO app is downloaded, ready to go, so you don't miss your next chance at winning $1,000 with the WDBO payroll payout. Your next chance is coming up tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. You could get paid just for listening to WDBO. Our top story, Donald Trump held liable in his New York City battery and defamation trial. ABC's Derek Dennis reports.
No comment from accuser E. Jean Carroll as she and her attorneys left Manhattan court, apparently choosing to let the verdict against former President Trump speak for itself. Trump held liable by a jury for defamation and for battery against Carroll, but not of actual rape in a New York City department store dressing room in the 1990s. Carroll awarded $5 million in compensatory and punitive damages. Trump responding on his Truth social media platform, writing, "I have absolutely no idea who this woman is. The verdict is a disgrace, a continuation of the greatest witch hunt of all time." Derek Dennis, ABC News, New York.
Florida police and paramedics will have somewhere to turn when they need to treat opioid overdoses.
Attorney General Ashley Moody says Walmart has agreed to supply naloxone kits to first responders. The retailer will carry the drug commonly known as Narcan at its pharmacies as part of the Helping Heroes program. Moody says officers and paramedics can run out of the drug if they treat several patients on a shift, and storing the drug is a challenge. Sophie Diaz, WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580.
Make sure that WDBO app is on your phone, ready to go, so you don't miss your chance at winning $1,000 with the WDBO payroll payout. Your next chance coming up tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. It's 6:02 here at WDBO. So, Jude, if you open the app, you're going to see like our main story there. Right now, it's Princess Cruises to begin sailing from Port Canaveral next year. And you scroll down, you see a little banner that says traffic. Then you'll see like the weather. It's 88, partly cloudy, feels like 86. Then there's those squares. The very first square on the left, top left, says payroll payout. It's next to one that says open mic and above one that says news. So it's the very first square right on the main homepage of our app. That's the payroll payout button. Yeah, I can't imagine being a Border Patrol agent right now, Michael. I can't imagine. I don't know. It must be so frustrating. You know, I've heard of people quitting just because they're getting no support. I can't imagine. You know, I've got a pretty cool job, and I know it is. Some people have hard jobs, and that is one of them. I don't know. It's rough. It's rough for them. And I honestly wonder what kind of repercussions we will see here in Florida, because I know we're not on the Mexico border, but I know we are one of the states that gets immigrants. I don't know how much we'll see once Title 42 expires. I wonder what DeSantis's response will be. You know, we know in the past he sent them away. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I don't like to come in and interrupt conversations, Laurel. If you're already having a discussion, so I'll just come in quietly and just making noises. La, la, la,
That's a great way to do it. It's awesome.
So I got this thing in the mail today. I don't want to show personal things on it, but I got a letter in the mail today. and it's from my insurance company from Aetna, and they have approved my cyborg implantation. So I'm so excited. So I'm scheduled for June 15th. Joe Kelley, human cyborg. I might be, come June, I might be America's only cyborg talk radio host.
Super exciting.
I am very fired up about this, but I'm going to have part of my body supplemented with mechanical and electrical engineering. This is awesome. I'd like to have a third arm, like a steampunk third arm. Wouldn't that be cool? And then I could do all kinds of things with 3 arms. Do you know how many? That would be so amazing. I am so hungry. What are you having for dinner tonight, Laurel?
I don't know. My lovely husband is the one that always cooks, and he's always like, "What do you want?" And I'm always like, "I don't care," because I don't care about food, to be honest. And so he just cooks.
That's how I am.
Yesterday I had steak though, so
yeah, I never really care. And my wife loves making crock pot meals, and so I'll come home and I'm like, I can smell it in the hallway as I walk onto our floor. I'm like, oh, I can smell crock pot. That smells so good. Sometimes I just make nachos.
Connected to our community. Talk local issues and events with Joe Kelley. Use the open mic in the WDBO app and let Joe know what interests you. The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO.
Well, while you're at work today, Donald Trump was found liable in the rape trial with E. Jean Carroll. Now, he wasn't found liable of rape. That was the one charge that he was not found liable of. He was found liable of all the other charges, including sexually assaulting the journalist E. Jean Carroll, and he has been hit with some $5 million in fines. Initially, prior to the trial, Donald Trump had said that if he was convicted or if he was found liable, that he would appeal the case. Since the trial, he has not said whether or not he is appealing the case. He did have a reaction on Truth Social in all caps writing, "I have absolutely no idea who this woman is. The verdict is a disgrace, a continuation of the greatest witch hunt of all time." And as of right now, Trump has not indicated plans to appeal the decision, to appeal the $5 million. And as billionaires go, $5 million is sometimes just the cost of doing business. Sometimes that's just a check you're going to write to get the headache off of your plate. Sometimes the $5 million is worth a lot of money, and sometimes it's the principle of it all. In slightly other news, there's an anti-Donald Trump ad that has now been released, and it is authored by and voiced by and paid for by former GOP Congresswoman Liz Cheney. Here is the 60-second advertisement that Liz Cheney, former Congresswoman, this is an attack ad that she has on Donald Trump.
Donald Trump is the only president in American history who has refused to guarantee the peaceful transfer of power.
Joe Biden,
he lost the election and he knew it.
To become the president.
He betrayed millions of Americans by telling them the election was stolen.
Stop the steal.
He ignored the rulings of dozens of courts. Rather than accept his defeat, he mobilized a mob to come to Washington and march on the Capitol. Then he watched on television while the mob attacked law enforcement, invaded the Capitol, and hunted the vice president. He refused for 3 hours to tell the mob to leave. There has never been a greater dereliction of duty by any president. Trump was warned repeatedly that his plans for January 6th were illegal. He didn't care, and today he celebrates those who attacked our Capitol. Donald Trump has proven he is unfit for office. Donald Trump is a risk America can never take again.
Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and Liz Cheney is one heck of a scorned woman. By the way, that is not in the Bible. Hell hath no fury as a woman scorned. Someone said, "Oh, that's biblical." No, no. That is not in the Bible. You can join me at 844-580-WDBO. It's 844-580-9326, or use the open mic in the WDBO app. Will you still be voting for Donald Trump in spite of him being found liable today, in spite of the 32-count indictment handed down from New York last month, in spite of 2 other cases that still could indict Donald Trump for the election 2020 coverage? Will you still be voting for Donald Trump come the fall? You can join me at 844-580-WDBO. Ruth is in the APK, Apopka. Hi, Ruth. How are you?
Well, I'm doing great, Joe. I'm getting a little tired of these just ridiculous assertions that they're constantly trying to bury Trump. And if we just use a little common sense, I'm a woman, okay? I have a little idea of what it's like to be harassed and sexually harassed. But you know what? Let's just have a little common sense here. This makes absolutely no sense. This woman can't even give the actual date. And speaking as a woman,
she wasn't even sure the exact year.
Exactly. I mean, it's asinine. And then, of course, it supposedly took place in New York, but there's over 90% Democrats in that area of New York. So what does this woman have to do? What does she have to lose for this? All she has to do is Trump, if Trump got off, still, she's not going to be accountable for anything. She doesn't have to be accountable, but here we go, It's just another little nail in the coffin of trying to bury Trump and make sure that he doesn't run for president.
Well, she certainly could be held accountable if Donald Trump appeals the case and if Donald Trump were to countersue her. I mean, if she is making money off of a defamation claim, then Donald Trump, if he did not actually sexually assault her, he could have a defamation claim against her.
This story that's over 90% Democrat, and Donald Trump has it. He's behind the 8 ball no matter what way he goes with this.
There's no doubt that the media certainly plays a part in that, and the media has never, ever, ever, ever given Donald Trump a fair shake, ever.
Thank you. Exactly. So common sense tells me Donald Trump's a very smart man. He gets on everyone's nerves. He tweeted too much. But you know what? The guy's a smart guy. And I just don't think he would have done something like this.
All right, Ruth, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate your phone call. Let's go to Connie in Orlando. You're on WDBO. Hi, Connie.
Hi, Joe. I just want to say that Liz Cheney just got Donald Trump elected.
And I thought the same thing. And something else that's interesting about the Liz Cheney ad is that never once does Liz Cheney say her name, nor does the video ever display her name. So she is completely anonymous. I think at the very end, there's a little fine print that is required by federal law that says, Political Action Committee, Liz Cheney. But that's it. She doesn't tout that it is Liz Cheney versus Donald Trump. In fact, I think she recognizes that her approval rating is so terribly low that there is
so bad.
Yes, that people might embrace her message if they don't embrace her.
I think, she just proved once again, just like that sham committee that she was on. I only recognized her voice because of that sham committee, which I really didn't watch, but I recognized it. And she just once again proves what a liar she is, because so many elections have been contested, including, of course, Donald J. Trump in 2016. Yeah, and Maxine Waters, all these people trying to contest it. Of course, no senator signed it, but with Biden, I believe it was Ted Cruz that did sign it as a senator to contest it. But this is just another, let's try to get him. We got him. And they won't. Too many people are behind Donald Trump. Too many, including me.
When the January 6th committee released the videos to Tucker Carlson, Tucker spent about 2 nights releasing those videos. I think he only did it for 2 nights. And then the network, I think, cracked down on him and wanted him to ease back on airing those videotapes. But the videos that Tucker Carlson aired, I mean, showed what a liar Liz Cheney was. I mean, that whole committee lied so much about what happened on January 6th. That was such a biased committee, and the media, drank it up like lap dogs. And it was just embarrassing. It was embarrassing to watch as an American. It was embarrassing to watch as a Trump supporter. I mean, the whole thing was just embarrassing. And the Democrats ganged up on him with one purpose and one purpose only, and that was to besmirch him in a way that he could not be. He could not recover. They wanted him to not be able to recover from that and to not be able to run for re-election, to not ever be able to hold office again. I mean, that was ultimately their goal, was to make sure that Donald Trump could not run for office ever again.
So you're right. Nobody saw. And that's the thing. Hearsay, if she's just saying, if there's no medical proof, and most states require some type of hospital visit, police report, there has to be some type of notice.
Well, I'm gonna stop you there, because what you've got to keep in mind is that this was not a criminal trial. This was a civil trial. And if it was a criminal trial, the standard for getting a conviction is much harder to achieve in a criminal trial than it is a civil trial. Some of our older listeners may recall O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson was found not guilty at a criminal trial, but he was found liable at a civil trial, because the standards for proof are a lot lower in a civil trial than they are for a criminal trial. So in this case, they didn't have to have any kind of hospital records. They didn't have to have a rape kit. They didn't have to have anything like that, because the standard for finding guilt is much, much lower in a civil case like what Donald Trump faced today in New York.
Over 20 years ago, and now this lady does this? How convenient. So dumb. Trump 2024.
Yeah, and then we had a guy earlier who referred to that woman as a broad, and we talked about that.
Hey, and this broad's from Orlando, and this broad doesn't mind being called a broad. Just saying. It's a funny word.
I'm still going to hesitate to call women broads. I think I'll stick with women. But we're not even supposed to call them that now, though, right? Aren't we supposed to call them by whatever pronouns?
This trial does not change my mind. I still want Trump. Trump is the one that could deal with these other countries and fight back. He's the one that could drain the swamp better than any other person, because he did it. And he's the one that could get our economy going. And he's also the only one that has the policies that I like. And he's also the one who said what he was going to do, and he did it, even under attack by the Democrats for 4 years.
I don't know. Donald Trump said he was going to build a wall and make the Mexicans pay for it. That didn't happen. That was literally his first promise. I'm going to build a wall and I'm going to make Mexico pay for it. That didn't happen. And I don't understand how people didn't have a falling out with that, because building the wall, and right now as we look at immigration issues, with Title 47 going to expire tomorrow night at midnight, or Thursday night at midnight, and with our border being the abhorrent problem that it is right now, I don't know how everybody let Trump slide on that whopper of a lie that he was going to build a wall and make Mexico pay for it. Mexico has not paid for any part of any wall that separates the United States from Mexico, and only part of a wall got built. I give him credit for building part of a wall and finding a military budget to fund it, but he didn't keep all of the promises that he said he was going to keep, especially the first promise that he made.
If I lived in any other state, I would vote for DeSantis. But because I live in Florida, I'm going to vote for Trump, because I want Daddy DeSantis to stay right where he's at so I can live my free life.
I hope Daddy DeSantis doesn't stick. I hope we don't start calling him Daddy DeSantis. That feels weird.
Hello, Joe. Yeah, this case against Trump, this is going to open up
30, 40, 50, 60-year-old allegations against men, especially wealthy men. And I just want to let you know that I'm still voting for Trump. You know, he did a good job for the country, and I'm still voting for him.
All right, hit us up right now, 844-580-WDBO. It's 844-580-9326. Make sure you look for the Joe Kelley Show podcast wherever you get your podcasts. You'll find it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You'll find it in the on-demand button in the WDBO app. I would love for you to subscribe to the podcast. Let us know what you think about it. You can catch up on any of the shows. Plus, we have original content there as well. And make sure you download the WDBO app so you got a chance to win the $1,000 in the next opportunity coming up tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock for the WDBO payroll payout. But you got to download the WDBO app for your chance to win.
Now, WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Triple Team Traffic.
Well, first of all, we're getting a lot better through downtown. I-4, both directions now, full speed. Heavy brake lights, though, on I-4 westbound from Parr onto the 408 ramps and then Sand Lake to 535 and 192 into Champions Gate. And they're still working a crash 192 westbound after Four Winds Boulevard with 2 left lanes shut down. This report sponsored by Hop On Jet Service, JSX. Enjoy private jet perks at airline prices when you fly JSX, the Hop On Jet Service, changing the way you fly from Orlando. Save time flying from a crowd-free private terminal on a 30-seat jet. Visit jsx.com and book your flight today. From the WDBO Triple Team Traffic Center, I'm Paul Cross.
Now,
Actor Robert De Niro is a new dad for the 7th time. Page 6 reports the 79-year-old has not revealed the mother of the child, but his girlfriend was showing off a baby bump last month. De Niro's eldest child is 51 years old, while his youngest is 11. The California Reparations Panel has approved payments of up to $1.2 million to every qualifying Black resident. The state's Reparations Task Force voted Saturday to recommend the cash payments and a formal apology. Lawmakers will now decide on whether to move forward with the plan. Twitter will begin purging the social media platform of inactive accounts. On Monday, Twitter CEO Elon Musk said affected accounts will be ones that haven't been active for several years. He also noted that users will probably see follower counts drop as the inactive accounts are wiped. Bye, Jude. See you later. Now I'm doing another article about how groceries, particularly crops, fruits, veggies, are going to jump up even higher because California had all that crazy flooding. Kansas had ridiculous drought. And I just can't imagine prices going higher. My family's already blown away by how much it costs just to buy food at the grocery store. And, it costs, have you noticed that? It costs more to eat healthy. You can buy ramen for 89 cents, but you want to buy fresh vegetables and fruits? You want to buy lean meats? You're running up 50, 60, 70, over $100. And yeah, so they're saying that it's going to get even worse in the next year because the West has had such crazy weather. Very exciting. Sarcasm. It's not exciting. Oh my gosh. Did you hear what I said? The Robert De Niro is a new father. That's interesting. His 51-year-old child has a brand new baby brother. Sarcasm is how you hug, Michael. Robert De Niro. He's nearly 80 years old. I have a lot of things. I'm like, I think I'm going to hold my tongue. think I better just hush, and that's all will go from there. Just interesting. It's interesting. When Joe goes to become a cyborg, I get to host the show, and I'm kind of terrified because I don't know what to talk about now, much less for 2 hours. So hopefully you all will be there for me and you'll call in and you'll talk to me and help me out because I'm scared. I don't know what to talk about for 2 hours. Believe it or not, I'm shy. And every time I say that to somebody, they're like, but you're on the radio. I'm like, yeah, but I'm in a room by myself. You can be shy on the radio. It's a thing. You don't realize you're talking to hundreds of thousands of people when you get in front of the microphone.
Get paid just for listening to WDBO.
This is awesome.
So here is something to consider about Donald Trump. Here are several things to consider about Donald Trump. So in the last few months, Donald Trump has been indicted on 34 felony counts. In the last few months, Donald Trump learned that somebody who has worked for him at Mar-a-Lago is cooperating with federal prosecutors on whether or not he hid confidential documents. Donald Trump has faced a civil trial over a rape accusation from 1996, of which today he was found liable of multiple counts. In the last few months, he's defended his Access Hollywood contention that celebrities like himself can grab women by their genitals. Historically, that's true with stars, he says. He has faced rising competition from credible 2024 challengers, including Governor Ron DeSantis, former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, and Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina. He's seeing a growing likelihood that he'll be indicted again, this time for trying to corrupt the 2020 election results, all at the same time. All at the same time that this has been happening to Donald Trump has moved up in the Republican primary and general election polls. He's won a flurry of 2024 endorsements from House Republicans, including several from Florida, beating DeSantis at a high-stakes inside game. He's raised a formidable $34 million for his 2024 campaign with a surge of donations after his indictment. He has run former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who looked set for a 2024 run, out of the race. Donald Trump has made huge accomplishments, politically speaking, while being handed huge defeats, politically speaking. I mean, the guy is an anomaly. He is very unique. There's only one person like Donald Trump, to be sure. Tara is joining us from Florida. You're on WDBO. Hi, Tara.
Hi.
Hey.
Well, I just called in because, you're putting the question out there. And I think really for me, what it is, it's the classic story of the boy who cried wolf, where we've been inundated with too much stuff over and over and over again. And it just ends up just being noise. Like it has nothing to do with whether we're sympathetic or unsympathetic. It's just too much stuff that never really amounts to anything. And it's not an actual time to respond. And so when the time does come to respond, I don't know that people will, even if it is appropriate, because it's just too much.
So let me play devil's advocate here with you, Tara. You used the cliche, the boy who cries wolf. Let me use another cliche. Where there's smoke, there's fire. You have no concerns out of the countless list of accusations, allegations, and everything else involving Donald Trump. Where there's smoke, there's no fire?
So, no, I'm not going to say that, because when we look at a candidate, I would hope that we first download a platform. We look at the platform. We look at the candidate. We weigh the history, and we go through an approach of a check. Yeah, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And then we make decisions in the primary, and then we make decisions in the general election. So I'm not saying where my vote is going, but I would say that this particular story right now is literally not, has no effect on my state of mind or whether or not this is still a qualified candidate or not, because there's just been so much noise. I mean, to me, to be a traitor and to trade our country's freedom for financial profit is a crime, right? But he's already been accused of that, right?
Sure.
We've already been through years of that, and there's a whole investigation, and we've spent all my tax dollars on that.
Tara, I gotta stop you right there. We just run out of time. It's nothing personal, but Tara, thank you so much for your call. Thank you for listening. We've got more. We've got a lot more of your calls and comments coming up straight ahead. So join us at 844-580-WDBO or use the open mic in the WDBO app.
This is WDBO.
WDBO.
Good evening, 6:31 here at WDBO. Make sure you have the WDBO app downloaded, ready to go, so you don't miss your chance at winning $1,000 with the WDBO payroll payout. Your next chance coming up tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. You could get paid just for listening to WDBO. Our top story, a jury in New York has found former President Trump liable for battery and defamation in the E. Jean Carroll case. ABC's Aaron Katersky inside the courtroom for today's verdict.
E. Jean Carroll walks away with a full victory on her battery and defamation claims. More than 24 women have come forward to accuse Trump of sexual misconduct over the years, but Carroll's claims were the first to make it into court here, the first before a jury, and she's now successful.
A former Kissimmee city commissioner is facing charges in an alleged ghost candidate scheme.
Carlos Irizarry is charged with 4 counts related to campaign finances and how the money was spent. The FDLE began investigating the 67-year-old last year following allegations that he was paid to enter the 2022 Osceola County Commissioner's race to affect its outcome. The state alleges Irizarry reported false campaign expenses and lied about charitable donations made by the campaign. Investigators say he spent campaign funds on things such as day spas and restaurants. Nicole Diaz, WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580.
Chrysler is recalling nearly 26,000 Jeep Cherokees due to transmission issues. This is an expansion of the 2020 recall made by the automaker. Model years 2016 to 2017 Cherokees may be affected by a faulty power transfer unit that could result in a loss of power drive and parking function. Both malfunctions could possibly result in crash or injury. Chrysler will notify vehicle owners and do an update to the software for free. Make sure you have that WDBO app downloaded, ready to go, so you don't miss your next chance at $1,000 with the WDBO payroll payout coming up tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. It's 6:33 here at WDBO. And that number, by the way, y'all, 844-580-9326. That's for any of the shows. Well, any of the local shows. So Joe's show, any of the shows on the weekends. If you listen to our Ask the Experts weekends, that's the number you use to call in and ask any of the experts their free expert advice. Things like Eric Erickson, he's not here locally. He's in Atlanta, so he has a different call-in number. Sean Hannity isn't here. He's either in New York or I think sometimes he does it from Florida. I just don't know where. But so he has a separate call-in number. Same with Jimmy Failure and Mark Kay. They all have separate numbers because they aren't local. They're part of our station, but they're just not here in the studio. So they have a different call-in number. But anytime you want to talk to Joe or any of us on the weekends, it's 844-580-9326. And those open mics we play, if you don't want to call in, if you're like, well, I don't want to talk to you live, The open mic button is in the WDBO app as well. So if you download our app and there's, again, those little squares, you're going to see the first square on the left is the payroll payout, but right next to it says open mic. And you can hit that and record what you're going to say. And I think you have 30 seconds now to record what you're going to say. And then it comes to us here and we can listen to them. And if you don't swear and you aren't making weird noises, we'll typically play them. And sometimes even if you have weird noises, as you heard if you were listening, last week? We had the sprinkler guy on. That was funny. He was sitting outside and we could hear his sprinkler in the background. And the person before that had a dog and we could hear the tippy taps. That's the problem is when you listen to like 1,000 open mics, we start hearing all the weirdness in the background. People with birds will leave them and we'll hear the chippy chirpy of birds, which I'm sure they don't even hear, right? Because they hear the birds chirping all day. So they probably like drowned it out. They don't even hear the birds anymore. But we can hear the birds. Cats meowing. Cats. Hold on. I was going to tell you a story about my cat, but Joe's here. Maybe.
Hey, why does Paul Cross keep coming and going?
So he told me why.
I can't hear you if you're talking to me.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Are you listening?
Yes.
Oh, so he told me, and I kind of heard, and I think it's because he's doing a whole bunch of different stations. He's like doing all of Florida stations, so he has to jump on and off right now.
Did I say Title 47? I must have.
Yeah, apparently you did.
It happens.
Sure does. I did take my kitty cat to the vet this morning because he has a very stuffy nose. He's had it for like 2 months.
Oh, okay.
And he's like super
I thought you
snotty.
just meant it was
It's
starting.
gross. So $400 later.
God, that's a lot. That's a shame.
Well, he's a weirdo, so he had to
Which
get a bunch
cat
of
was
blood
it?
work and stuff. So there's Paul.
Paul. Oh, what cat was it?
My Oriental short hair cat, Goblin.
I don't think they like to be called Oriental anymore.
The cats do. They're fine.
Looking at the cameras, we're trouble-free through downtown right now on I-4 and the 408, but we're still seeing brake lights between the 528 and 535 on I-4 westbound, and then 192 into Champions Gate. I-4 eastbound, delays between 536 and 535. We do have a crash on the I-4 westbound ramp to State Road 46 in Seminole County. This report sponsored by Wendy's Biggie Bag. Grab a Wendy's Biggie Bag today with your choice of JBC, double stack, or crispy chicken sandwich, plus 4-piece nugs, junior fries, and a small soft drink. Biggie hits every time. U.S. price and participation may vary. Just playing off of Joe Kelley's Hunger Pains from the WDBO Triple Team Traffic Center, I'm Paul Cross.
Insightful.
What's JBC?
Truth from your point of view.
Entertaining.
Man, that guy
What is
a
a
lot taller
JBC?
than he sounds on the radio.
And engaging.
When we hear you
Paul
on the
said
radio,
it.
it's a good thing.
The Joe Kelley Show on WDBO.
Paul, what's a JBC?
A JBC? That is, it must be something with the Wendy's Biggie Bag, your choice of JBC double stack. So
JBC.
it's got to be something.
Junior, like a junior bacon cheeseburger? Oh, I bet that's what
maybe
it is,
junior
yeah.
bacon cheeseburger. Yeah.
Now that sounds good, except for the bacon. But that sounds really, really good. A burger does. I forgot my second lunch today. Oh, you've got a burger right in front of you.
Yes, I do.
Oh, I
got a burger in front of me.
So I bought the what do you call the White Castle? So my wife bought some of the White Castle cheeseburgers in the frozen food section at Publix. And I got to tell you, as a late night snack, those are pretty delicious. So they've got the
little sliders,
the little
ones?
sliders. Yep, they've got a little slice of cheese, a little chopped up onions on them, and I dip them in ketchup and I eat them with Cheetos And that's my late night. That's my late night snack. That is my fancy high rise eating, man.
That's your pinky up snack, where you have to have your pinky up when you eat those things. You dip and pinky up.
The Cheetos are so good. And every now and again, I'll dip a Cheeto in ketchup just to see how it tastes. Ketchup is my favorite condiment. Let's go to Mike in Fruitland Park. Mike, hello. You're on WDBO. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Joe. How are you doing today?
Excellent.
So my go-to snack is actually fresh mozzarella and tomato with a little balsamic. But anyway,
that sounds good too. My wife, hang on, wait. My wife served a couple nights ago with dinner. She served cold watermelon with, what is this? What is it called? Vinaigrette, with vinaigrette on it. Oh, first of all,
mustard.
Okay, first of all, mustard on watermelon is remarkably tasty. And I know that a lot of our listeners are turning their faces sour right now, thinking watermelon and mustard is a bad combination, but it is not.
Because they haven't tried it.
Yeah, because they haven't tried it. It tastes like honey mustard, because the sweetness from the watermelon and the bitterness from the mustard tastes like honey mustard, and it is absolutely delicious. But she served it with vinaigrette on it, which was also delicious on watermelon.
I have not tried that.
Yeah, so try that. And everybody else needs to try the mustard on the watermelon.
Most of the listeners right now are like puking in their mouth. But anyway,
probably so. So what's on your mind, Mike?
I'm honestly curious. I am a 16-year implant from New Jersey.
Okay.
I've been here for 16 years.
Got it.
And I love the way DeSantis is running everything. And this border thing and the country thing and the pronouns thing, everything is just driving me crazy.
Yeah, I made a note today that the world kind of sucks right now. I wrote that down I was in a meeting earlier today, and I just wrote down the world kind of sucks right now. And I think that's kind of what you're describing, that the world does kind of suck. And frankly, America kind of sucks right now.
I wouldn't say America. I would, because I love this country. I'm sitting in my garage. I have 8 American flags in my garage.
Surely, though, you're displeased with the latest turn of events in the United States. I mean, just the open border alone has got to just frustrate you.
I texted earlier. I am a certified firearms instructor. I won't name with who or for what company. We had a border patrol agent come to our facility for training. That tells me that the government is not helping these people.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
There's something freaking wrong with that. If these people who work for the government are coming to us for training, and then going back to the border, something is wrong.
And I'm sure you do a good job training, but I would rather them be trained by their agency than trained in the civilian sector.
Do you think so?
I don't know. You might be right about that.
Have you gone through any of that training?
I have. I've not gone through any government firearms training, but I have done private sector firearms training.
If I gave you an open invite for training here, let's just say within an hour of Orlando, would you come?
Yes.
An open invitation.
Of course.
And I will give you that right now.
Okay, done. I'll be there. I mean, not like right away, not today.
No, that's fine. I would love, after this conversation ends, put me on hold and give me a number, and you can come and train, and I can show you what's going to happen.
Okay, hang on. Sophie, I'm going to put this phone line back on hold in a minute if you get his contact information so I can contact him later. Thank you. Was there more that you wanted to say? I think there was before I put you on hold. Is there more, Mike?
I just think that the world is heading in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
The American people, and I don't say people when I say people like everybody, I mean the true Americans that want to be able to protect themselves, protect their family, okay, and just be safe. I don't care what city you live in. Just be safe with your family. That's what the government is supposed to do. They're supposed to make us safe. They're not doing that anymore.
No, they certainly don't seem to be. And some cities are doing it much worse than other cities, and some states are doing it much worse than other cities. I'm curious. One last question for you, Mike. What do you think of Governor DeSantis signing the bill for now that we don't have to have licenses to carry firearms, concealed firearms?
As of July 1, you will not need a license anymore to conceal a firearm. I think that's a great idea. And I think it's a horrible idea because you're going to have a lot of people out there not knowing the rules of where they can and can't display a firearm.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you said I live right next to the villages. Okay. I love these elderly people. They came here to retire. But if they don't know what they can and can't do in their golf carts displaying firearms, you're going to have a lot of problems.
Yep. And no doubt about that. And I've taken some wonderful classes, and every class I've taken for concealed firearms classes have been about learning when not to shoot, not when to shoot. Because even if, as we learned today with Donald Trump with the civil trial, even though this is sex related, not firearms related, even if you are exonerated in a criminal trial for shooting someone, you could still face civil penalties in a trial if you shoot a bad guy.
Which is absolutely correct. And you still can just get simple firearms. I hate to say this, insurance, so that if God forbid you have to use that to defend your life, your family, your neighbor, you have some kind of firearms insurance and will not be completely drained civilly.
I have
you have to defend yourself.
I've never heard of firearm insurance like that. I mean, I've heard of insuring your goods from being stolen, but you're saying that they could provide an umbrella policy in case you ever use your firearm?
Absolutely.
Wow. All right. That's good to know. Mike, hang on a second. I'm going to put you on hold so we can get your contact information. Paul Cross, you wanted to say something real quick.
Yeah, I wanted to address Mike. I just wanted to let him know that we have placed a GPS tracker inside Joe Kelley, so no ill things are going to happen to him when he goes out and visits you.
Oh, I don't think I'm being baited into being taken out there. I appreciate your concern. Paul's always got my back. I appreciate that. 6:46 the time now. More of your calls and comments coming up.
Now, WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Triple Team Traffic.
Got a multi-vehicle crash 429 southbound before I-4. It's blocking the right lane. You got traffic backed up now to before Sinclair Road. But the good news is we're trouble-free through downtown on I-4 and the 408. This report sponsored by Wendy's Biggie Bag. Grab a Wendy's Biggie Bag today with your choice of JBC double stack or crispy chicken sandwich, plus 4-piece nugs, Wendy's junior fries, and a small soft drink. Biggie hits every time. U.S. price and participation may vary. From the WDBO Triple Team Traffic Center, I'm Paul Cross.
Now the 3 big things you need to know.
3. An FDA panel of outside experts is weighing whether birth control pills should be sold without prescription. Irish drug maker Perrigo wants to sell a pill over the counter in the U.S. The agency wants to know if people will likely use the pill safely. 2. A home in New Jersey had an unsuspected visitor crash into it yesterday afternoon. Hopewell fire officials say a meteorite the size of an avocado is believed to have hit the home. The only person inside at the time was not hurt. 1. An ex-girlfriend of Tiger Woods is accusing him of sexual harassment. Erica Herman filed the lawsuit in Florida Friday. She says Woods pursued a sexual relationship with her while working at his restaurant and forced her to sign a non-disclosure agreement to keep her job. Herman claims the NDA should be voided. Does anybody have an Apple Watch? My Apple Watch suddenly just started draining, like the battery's draining like crazy. And I tried to, so everybody was like, make sure the latest software is updated. So I tried, and in the middle of downloading the software on my phone freaked out and shut down. They're not that old. I don't know why my technology is revolting against me. But my phone shut down, and so it paused the watch download. And now I went to go resume it, and my watch is only at 8%, so it won't do it anymore.
Did you know? Can I talk? Did you know that the current winner on Jeopardy, the current woman winner on Jeopardy, isn't a woman?
Has she been on before?
So yes, Amy Schneider is who you're thinking of. Amy Schneider was one of the grand champions. She kicked tush. She very much looks like a man with a dress and long hair. But the woman who won last night, she's actually won the last 4 nights. I kept looking at her thinking, I'm not sure about her. And sure enough, she is trans. Hang on, I'll show you. Please hold.
Show me.
Hang on.
So it makes me wonder, is that a push by the show to show more
So that's her.
transgender?
I think they just audition people and they make it through. And she's a good contestant. She's done a good job. If she wins tonight, she'll be invited to the Tournament of Champions because you have to have 5 wins, and she has 4 wins. But she is at least the second, if not the third, transgender contestant that's been on Jeopardy.
Interesting.
Yes. But we'll see later tonight if she still is. I just found out, I texted my wife to ask what we're having for dinner, and she said spaghetti.
That's your favorite.
I'm so happy. If not cheeseburgers, spaghetti is my favorite.
George Santos has just been indicted on federal criminal charges.
Paul is telling us, in case you haven't seen, that George Santos has just been indicted on federal charges. Have you seen that?
I did see that. Hang on.
Just happened. Criminally
just
charged.
Happened.
Yeah.
You know, I guess when you lie or fabricate as much as he did, sooner or later.
We should send a push alert on that, shouldn't we?
We should.
Sorry.
Bada bump. Bada bump. Bump. Bada bump. Bump. Bada bump. Bump. Bada Okay, everybody watching, this is what I'm doing right now. I'm working on a push alert. Uh-oh, I'm running out of time.
Keyword and your chance to win $1,000.
The payroll payout.
See official rules in our app. The payroll payout. Get paid just for listening to WDBO. Sponsored by Mark Spain Real Estate.
Come on, take the money and run. Woo, woo. All right, hang on. I'm almost finished. I'm almost ready. Here we go. And push. Okay, good. I just sent an alert. We are following breaking news as George Santos, the first-term Republican congressman, is charged by federal prosecutors in New York over lying about campaign finances and lying about a whole bunch of other stuff that George Santos lies about. And evidently that's his MO, is pretty much just lying about everything. And that's what he does. So he's lied. So that's it.
Even in a civil case, the plaintiff is responsible for proving through a preponderance of evidence that the crime was committed more so than not.
Right.
They still have to prove that it was a thing. in some way, shape, or form. It has to be proven.
Well, yeah.
You can't just say it happened.
No, you can't. And that's exactly what happened in court today. It was more than just saying it happened. They were able to convince a jury unanimously that it had happened.
Come on, Joe. Trump built the wall. Trump almost finished the wall. Thanks to the power of the pen, though, Biden canceled it. So come on, give him credit.
Well, first of all, I did give Trump some credit for building some of the wall and finding military money to build the wall. But I don't give him credit for his campaign promise of building a wall, the entire stretch of the border, and have Mexico pay for it. Mexico did not pay for that wall. And some of you will say, oh, but it was tariffs and that's how Mexico paid for it. No, those would be Mexican businesses paying tariffs. And that's not Mexico paying for the wall. That's completely different. That's why some of the military commanders got so upset that Donald Trump took military money to build the wall. And yes, I fault Joe Biden for day one stopping construction of the Donald Trump wall. And that was a grotesque mistake of the Biden administration just to prove points that they hated Donald Trump. But Biden is at fault for stopping what was being built. But I'm sorry, but Donald Trump lied when he said he was going to build a wall and have Mexico pay for it. Either that or he was just ignorant and didn't realize that he wasn't going to be able to pull that off. Coming up next, third hour of Hannity. I'm Joe Kelley. Thank you so much for being a part of the Joe Kelley Show on WDBO.
Got a multi-vehicle crash, 429 southbound, right before I-4, and now they have shut down all the lanes between Sinclair and I-4. So all the southbound lanes of 429 are closed. You are going to need to take what looks like Old Lake Wilson Road to get around this, but it's going to be a little while because when you close all the lanes, it takes a while to get them back open. ProTech Air Conditioning and Plumbing Service for honesty, integrity, and 100% customer satisfaction. Call ProTech 407-291-1644 or visit protechac.com. From the WDBO Triple Team Traffic Center, I'm Paul Cross.
Bless you, Laurel. You sneezed.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys, for watching. Have a great night. I'm going to go home and eat spaghetti.